Alright guys, good morning. Today is Christmas Eve of 2018. So taking a quick look at the SPY has gapped down. Had a little bit of a cover pop and it seems pretty weak. We had a big sell-off on Friday. We had a big sell-off all last week. So taking a look at the SPY, we are running into the 200. No, the 200 days are around 160. The 50 days around 235. It doesn't look good. So put your short cap on for a while and see what there is to play. Taking a look, we have MRIN. MRIN was pretty strong. As you can see, it dropped here from about 8 to 550. It turned on short sale restriction. Opened a little bit lower, had a spike. Hey Connor, what's up? And then it squeezed out short sellers. And again, so today we're opening. There's no short sale restriction. So we'll see if they want to turn this on. Under 10. Over 10, it's definitely bullish. It has a lot of room to the upside over 10. There's some previous gaps, but there's not much resistance here on the daily. Taking a look at NBEV. NBEV already down a significant amount. I guess you could take a position starting around 5 for NBEV, short. The daily chart doesn't give it too much information as to which way it wants to go. A lot of indecision here. Pretty choppy. Yesterday's range was from 7 to 415, so we are opening towards the lower bit. Oh, sorry, that was a monthly chart. Here we go. So you see on the daily chart, we're going to be opening under 5. So we're going to be opening really close to this 50-day moving average. We have some support after that down towards 4. So you could take NBEV under 5, but really there's this moving average, so you'd want to see it go a little bit under where it is now and hold. Your target could be closer to $4. So, being a little festive, have the ugly Christmas sweater on, so hopefully it brings us some good luck, even though it is blue and red. It's okay. We'll go with the red scheme. Taking a look at Cron's getting some activity. UXIN. Let me see, where's the market clock? That's annoying. Okay, so we're coming up on the bell. Man, what a pain. All right. UXIN's under 8. So you could take a starter here under 8, but it's pretty spready. I mean, 25-cent spreads are huge, so you'll get hit with that. Market's putting in a little bit of a green candle. For now, looks weak. UXIN's tightening up. NBEV coming up on the $5 range. MRIN just triggered an alert. So you see on the daily it had some support here where it came down and bounced. It now gap lower, so it's showing some weakness. Cron and NBEV up. NBEV has room. 520, 550. Has a gap to close at 540. 544. UXIN's holding over 8. MRIN looking a little weak. Under the VWAP. Under 950. Ah, missed it. Still spready on this one. Alright, so we're chasing MRIN until they turn on short sale restriction. So yesterday's close was 975. Let's see, 975 times 0.9. Yeah, that short sale restriction is going to get turned on around 870. About 870. So look for that to happen before it goes bullish. Everything else in the market was green, and now it's putting in a topping wick with the market. MRIN was really the only one that was showing weakness. Now, I don't think this is a completely weak stock. I just think that it's strategic. I think they're using short sale restriction to their advantage, so they want to drop it beneath 875 and then take it bullish again. It doesn't have much resistance. It has the $10 above. I'm not going to let it go that high. AMD is a little extended to the upside. It's up 60 cents. NBEV's still curling. Horrible entry here on MRIN. They're walking up support towards 9. I still need to turn on short sale restriction. So I think the bulls will let this go. There's no reason for them to push it higher when it's so close to turning that on, because then once they turn it on, they're basically in control. Unless too many people panic out, but it's a low float stock, so it's manipulated. Bad entry. Look at that spread, 936 by 74. That's unreal. And so we're in at 950. SPY's putting in a big red candle. MRIN doesn't really care what the market does, obviously. Last few days it's been extremely bullish. The other companies, on the other hand, average is 927. Really want to see it under 950. That was a bad trade. Let's get some volume, but it's still heavy. Hey Shirley, good morning. Hey Laura, good morning. What are you guys looking at today? See if the SPY stays under here. It's looking pretty bad. It came up and it tested this low from the previous day. Kind of tested it and it bounced here a little bit in the pre-market, failed, came back up. It's kind of failing, so under 240 is really bearish. Nice. I'm hoping the market gets a bounce in it and gets a little bit of relief. It'd be better for shorts coming into the next week. MRIN super strong. So you can take it long over 10 if you want. So strong. Thanks. Thanks for the sweater. And they were so close to turning on short sale restriction. Should have waited, taken it long. Cron pushing up, NBEV's pushing up, MRIN over 10. So the only recent resistance for MRIN is going to be from the previous days because they're higher volume. So look at how this traded. Based on where it's trading right now, there aren't that many people underwater for this stock. So we'll stay bullish. You know, it did top out here, but it's not on high volume. So we'll see if we start getting a lot of volume up here. That means they're trying to stuff it short. And keep in mind they can still hit the bid. So it makes the bears a little bit stronger. Alright, Laura. Well, enjoy the holiday, enjoy the dinner, and we'll see you coming back here on Thursday. Now, where can this really go? Alright. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. So I have a line at 1177. Should probably hit some resistance around 11. On the daily chart, definitely has some trouble here. It had a gap down at 1115, so 11 is definitely a spot. There were two gaps on the chart. Right around 11. All the way up here to 1170. So over 11 we're looking good. Over 1170 it has a lot of room to 13, and this thing has a ton of room. So we'll see how it reacts to 11. See if it wants to get through. It looks a little extended, so I'm going to take some off here and see if it gets through 11. Wow. Yeah, we'll see if it gets through and holds, because right now it's just testing. Good volume on the chart. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Pretty good volume. Still has potential to pull back. So we'll look to add in maybe around 1040. So it took some risk off up towards the resistance level up here. Still holding part of the core. Average is 1017. We don't want that to come against us. If it comes back down towards 1020, it might show a little bit of weakness. You'll see lately take a look at how it normally trades. So it's extended. It pulls back to support. Makes a nice move. Consolidates, has a breakout, pulls back to support. Grinds higher, breaks out. So it plays wedges a lot. If you can see, you know, a wedge here before the breakout, you know, pretty much a wedge here, or even there. So we'll take a look at those and see if any of those form. Those are all on the 5-minute chart. So we have one here, then it breaks out. So those take a while to develop. As long as it's holding up here, it's strong. What's up, Zach? What's wrong with it? It's all smudged. The webcam? I should be streaming in 720. So, I mean, I don't have any issues normally. I don't stream much on Twitch. So the market's having a pretty serious pullback. Can you adjust your settings to stream in a higher quality? Because I should be outputting 720. So we're looking to re-enter here around 1040 if it gets down here. I'll actually put a buy order out with a limit. Let's put one at 1045 to buy 200. Wow, guys, market is crashing. All right, cool. Thank you. This market, it's ugly, especially right before the holiday. UXIN's cruising. MRIN is just on a pullback. Where is this thing going? At 235. Dude, this market is ugly. Look at this drop. I was hoping for a relief bounce today. Wonder what the VIX is trading at. 75. So the VIX is trading much higher. We're calling 120 on this, on the VIX. It's still just kind of grinding higher. Let's take a small position on the VIX up here. Alright, so we didn't get filled because we don't have enough buying power for that. 75. Oh, it's because of this open order down here. So SPY's trying to bounce a little bit. I don't see very much support underneath it. So I think it definitely has Let's see if this is a bounce spot. 75. Right now I'm just looking at the market and seeing where it has potential to bounce. And TVX runs inverse the market. So when the market bounces somewhere significant like this, or if it bounces, I like to mark out the chart here and then go back and see how significant this level is and why it bounced here. So it has more potential to bounce. I guess it could bounce here at 237 based on this gap level where it gapped up and it held this level, lost the level and regained it. So it bounced at 235.54, but it also came back down here, tested this, and continued higher. So this is 237.22, and it had this previous level of support around 237.84. Not much volume during the consolidation up here. I think it can go lower. I don't think that's the greatest place to support this market. I think the market's heavy. So we're at 237.26. Yeah, and as you see, it came down, it bounced it because it respected the level a little bit, but I mean, this market's heavy. So what I'm looking at, I'm looking to see where the market can go. Where is there a significant bounce point that can actually catch the market? So these are irrelevant. Um, 235.50 is a little better, in my opinion, just because it's you see a significant point there. Anybody looking at this chart is going to be able to read that. So 235.50, and then down here around 232, it double tested, but during this consolidation here, so I feel like I missed the entry on the VIX there, but the target for the market's going to be at least 235, maybe 232. I don't know, my charts aren't syncing up. So we still have a ways to go from those levels. Are you looking at anything today, Sherry? Wow, look at that, guys. So we had our open order on MRIN down here at 1040, and it just came down and filled our order. So we got filled on this little dip. It's a perfect fill. This had a low of 1036, and we got filled at 1045. Perfect. So we saw this flagging, we saw it consolidating, and we wanted it to verify support. So what did it do? It came down, it tapped support, and it picked up a bunch of orders just like mine. So that's why you see this wick. So somebody sold off and it got bought right back up, and now we're continuing through the breakout. So now we're up through 11, and this thing has a lot of room. So 11's kind of a breakout point. Let's see how that 5-minute pattern played out on this. So we had a 5-minute flag, pull back, pull back. You could have entered here around 1080, or the verification of this support level, which is what we got. So that's just a breakout alert on MRIN in case we weren't watching the trade, but we're in it already, so we're way ahead. Now we'd want to see this get a little bit more extended over 11, and then come back down and test 11. It still doesn't have short sale restriction on, so you can get dumped on. Over 1055 was a level based on yesterday's high, 1050. But keep in mind, on the daily chart, this thing has a lot of room. So it's slowing down. I'm going to take that portion off. So that's a good move. We just got it from 1045 to 11, so almost 60 cents. We're still holding the core. Meanwhile, the SPY still pressing down, setting new lows. We said AES a target of 1350. So there's 14, and then a bounce level here at 1350 where it touched here and has support. Okay. Oh, 1305, I'm sorry. So you're aiming for down here. Keep in mind too, there's this 200-day moving average. Sometimes it'll respect that. It hasn't seen that in a while. So that could be potential profit take. It doesn't have short sale restriction on yet. Pretty good volume on the sell-off. SPY is putting in a green candle. What broker are you using to be able to short AES? Okay, so MRIN still setting up again, hopefully for another push. It's above 11. It really doesn't have anything to worry about. You don't see these levels start to break. Our adjusted stop on the remainder, we're at 1031 because we averaged in. We'll just keep that break even for now. UXIN's up again towards 9, which it's had major trouble before. It doesn't have short sale restriction. So you see here on the daily, it had a breakout candle about 850 today. Not seeing too much volume. Up towards 9 here. It respected it, had a little bit of a pullback, and it's continuing higher. So we'll keep a close eye on this one. Looks like 9's not that significant of a level anymore. It was this first day, but it's not really today. I like how short sale restriction is not turned on yet. NBEV's been curling all day. Same with Cron. AES is now at 14. Set an alert for UXIN to go out. AES still testing new lows, testing 14. Market's putting in a little bit of a bear flag looking candle. The fact that MRIN is bullish in this extremely bearish market is a sign that it's an alpha stock, that it's strong. And it's not an exaggerated bullish stock either. It's pretty gradual. It's just grinding, which is high. It's starting to get a little bit more choppy, but we're just gonna try to hold this. This dip buy was perfect. That shows strength. You know, it came back, tested support, still got some volume, and now it's just holding up, waiting for another setup. So the longer that it holds up here, the more bullish it is. I mean, we're breaking out here on the daily. So we'll see if AES can break this $14 level. Not, it's such low volume. It's amazing. $655,000 shares, I guess, is not significantly low. 1367 is going to be a potential bounce. So let's put the alert here. Create alert. Withdrawing. I just want to see if it sells off to here and bounces. You know, same thing like this. It's selling off to 14 and it's bouncing on 14 because everybody could recognize that it's a significant level. So as it bounces, you could obviously take some profits here, and then add back in if it bounces up. Probably better off just holding through. And then the next profit take would be down here at the 200, or you know, depending on how you play, you just hold it till 1305, which you know is a monster move. Looks like it wants to break too. So we didn't think that that was a significant place for the market to pivot. It was a place to bounce, make a bear flag, and continue lower. So now we're at the whole number of 36. AES following the market. The market's putting in new lows. AES is putting in new lows right around a significant whole number. So you'd like to see it pull away from that number. That's a slow moving. It's a slow mover. Now you could even enter here if you wanted to, or add under 14 because that's a significant number. Now with your add, you could take it from 13, from $14 down to 13.7 or so. MRIN pulled back a little bit more than we would have liked to see. So if you're really bullish on it, take it for a dip buy. It's a little bit more than I wanted to see. So it got bought at 1080. So I guess it's testing 11. We're in at 1031. So we just added around 11. It was a bad fill, actually. So our average is 1075. It's going to be a break-even stop. I should have put a limit order on that. SPY's still putting in new lows, so our VIX trade's doing well. TVIX is over 77 now. See if we can get picked up here at 11 again. So we have a buy order at 11.01. I probably just missed that. Looking at it on the 5-minute chart. So what we did here, we had a breakout, we had a 5-minute pullback, well 10-minute pullback on the 5-minute pattern, and we had a breakout here at 1083. So we had a little bit of a breakout, and now what are we doing? We're testing to see if this is going to hold up. In the meantime, we're setting up for another bull flag. So we don't want to see it get below basically our average here. We have an order out here at 11.02 to get picked up, or 11.01. Let's see if it gets filled. It should be getting filled. And our stop's going to be break even. Steven Ducks made over 64,000 last week. It's good to know. All right, so we're in another portion. Stop is going to be, what's our average right now? It's 83. So we're right at this support level. Not looking good. Pretty big spreads. There's our stop. See what happens here. See if it gets bought or not. We're right at the support level. We don't want to see it crack. We want to see some buyers come in and hold this up. So it's snapped. Let's get out. $78 on the ask or on the bid. Seeing some support around that 80 area. Just trying to get out of the position, actually, at least downsize. $88. Okay, so we just took some at, they actually filled us at 98. Oops. We just added to our position. That's not what we wanted to do. Okay, let's see. See if it can bounce off this VWAP. So there's some good support at 11. We can hold with these guys. $10.90 now. Average is $10.90. It's trying to break out. It's an ugly pattern, so we're gonna downsize. That was a mistake. AES bounced off of about $13.90. MRIN's losing volume, but they are keeping it above 11, which is good. Shows that the bulls are in control. I'm gonna add to the VIX. Here at 76. Hoping that the market turns down. BBY target 2652. Is that Bed Bath & Beyond? Best Buy. 2652. 2652. I mean, that's a, yeah. That's a huge move. So surely it's fair to say that you'd be a swing trader, because I think some of the profits that you're looking for won't be hit today. What happened with Best Buy? MRIN, patience is the game here. Alright, taking some more. I like Best Buy too. BBY? What happened here? 48. So I'm going to set an alert for 30. Let's see. And then the other alert. You said 2650. So with MRIN, I was taking a look here. It's kind of forming a double top. That's why I took some profit off, because this could be a lower high before it rolls over. We're not getting any volume here. Not much sell-off volume either. It's still looking bullish, but took some off. You could add it over high of day if you wanted to, or could have just held it. But taking profits into overhead resistance. GSAT. So you got 50 cents out of here, coming down from this top that we had at 90 maybe. This is way back in April. $0.70. Yeah, when did you enter that trade? It must have been back here. And that's a really long trade. Profit of 51 cents. Oh. So it, well, I mean, yeah, trading in the 40s, it had to have been a 90 entry. So 49 cents down to 28 cents. What was your entry and exit price? Oh, the target was 51. I'm sorry. I thought you took a 50-cent move on the trade. So the target, so you were taking this one long? Target of 51. There were 2,500 shares traded up here. Were you actually trading this one? Were you able to get out anywhere? So you took it on a swing trade long, and you had 51 as a target. So what made you get into the stock? Did you get in during earnings? When they showed positive earnings? Like, what made you take the trade? Could you replicate it? Did you get in on this Monday? Extremely low volume. That's not one that personally I could trade. Taking a look at the SPY. SPY came back up. We took another position up here around the VWAP because we're still bearish on the market. We could definitely take that off now if we wanted, because if it pivots here, it's going to be putting in a higher low. So it never hurts to take profits. That would be $1 move from where we just took it from. We took it from 76.05 to 76.80. The SPY's in big trouble. Big trouble. It's now beneath the 200 on the daily. This is ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. MRIN, on the other hand, still looking good. Excuse me. Got in on a Thursday. Oh, no, I fooled you then, surely. Looks can be deceiving. Oh, you're talking about GS8. Thursday was the 20th. So it was this day. So let's see, on the 18th. They do a public offering. At 35 cents a share on the 19th. So they went from 30 to 35. This must have been the offering, right? So the market did bounce a little bit. AES bouncing a little bit. MRIN still holding above 11. Looks pretty good. DFFN is turning. Bouncing off this $2 level. So you could take DFFN long over 2. They did a 1 to 15 reverse stock split. The only reason they did the reverse stock split is to regain compliance. So it's a really garbage company, but it could get pumped. It's definitely getting a little bit of volume here. Alright guys, coming up on 10:30. Looks like we're gonna be shutting it down a little early today. I have some food shopping to do, some presents to wrap still, so just gonna see where the market wants to go. Probably take off this VIX trade. Looks like it wants to push a little bit. It's coming up in the VWAP. Taking a look at the 1 minute. Over the VWAP definitely wants to push. Looks like people are just buying up the VIX when they can. It's pretty crazy to see that. This thing is really just grinding. Just grinding. It still isn't that extended. We haven't had that big volume day that would cause for a pivot. We're just grinding higher. Same thing with the SPY. I mean, this is ridiculous. So 236, is that where we're gonna bounce? Are we gonna bounce? Let's look at a weekly time frame and see if 236 holds any significance. We have this 235.50. It is 237, 234. So yeah, I mean, within this consolidation area around 236, it could bounce. Take a look at a monthly time frame. Monthly time frame does not look good, although it could be bouncing off this 50-day moving average. I don't know if you guys watch Gregory. How do you say his name? Manarino. He's a pretty crazy guy, but his videos are really insightful, if that's a word. so let's see, he just put out a new video.
Hey everybody, it's me, MRIN from Hawaii today. It is Monday, December 24th, 2018. Merry Christmas Eve to you. So we have a few things I want to talk about. Some of it is so important, people, so sit down and pay attention to what's going on around us. I did 2 videos over this weekend where I tried very hard to put a perspective on what's going on around the world. I mean, we are in crisis. This is not just an issue here in a third world country or in some other part of the world. It's hitting us home right here. As I am doing this video blog, stocks are down across the board. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 300 points. What nobody is talking about, and this is huge, nobody's talking about it. I mean, you could turn on the Confederacy of Dunces channels, but again, this seems to be slipping their mind. How about this? Since the announcement of the Fed rate hike, which was an absolute joke, you know, they did a 25 basis point hike to the federal funds rate. Well, since that day, let's see what has happened. How about rates have gone down? Yeah. Who said they would do that? Well, yeah, maybe I did. I outlined this for you exactly. I told you all that I expected that bond yields would drop, and they have. No one's talking about it, but we got this rate hike. Explain that one to me. Or have the Confederacy of Dunces pick one. You know, why don't they elaborate on what's going on here? The U.S. 10-year yield is 2.76 as I am doing this video blog. The entire curve continues to flatten out. It's tremendous. I cannot stress this enough. You know what else is tremendous? How about the dollar? The U.S. dollar, supposed to be a safe haven play, is getting slammed today, despite the fact that stocks are down again. And geopolitical risk keeps rising, but the dollar is down. This, to me, and should be to you, a huge red flag that something very, very bad is unfolding here. Now let's talk about this. I had to write it down. Over the weekend, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, I really can't stand this guy. I can't. It's just a liar. It's the truth. This guy went out of his way. Now this is important, to contact 6 of the Wall Street major banks. Here they are: Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo. He contacted the CEOs of these banks to make sure, this is the rumor, to make sure that they were they had enough capital on hand in case of another financial crisis. Now here's the issue with what Mnuchin did. It's the job of the Federal Reserve to run these stress tests. You know, we just had a stress test, and the banks came through again, of course, with flying colors. Oh, they're very well liquefied. This is the Federal Reserve. Oh, banks can handle another crisis. Well, really, then why did Mnuchin go out of his way this weekend to, you know, make sure that this was the case? Let me tell you why. We witnessed the same thing in 2008 as well. And this is almost like the kiss of death. When you have this kind of action, and then you're told, oh, everything is just fine, that means everything is not fine. You understand? So this is some kind of a thing going on, people, and I've outlined this for you over the entire weekend. Please watch the 2 videos I did, my Saturday special and my Sunday special, so you can really get your head around what's happening. This is just plain ugly, what we're witnessing here. So let's just kind of summarize here real quick. Stocks are down across the board. Dollar getting slammed, although it's supposed to be a safe haven asset. Federal Reserve raises rates, but yields are dropping. You almost have to laugh. You can't make this up. I mean, go look at it for yourself. No one wants to talk about it. The Confederacy of Dunces, every single one. They seem to be oblivious to it, but you're not. We've got the Treasury Secretary meeting with 6 CEOs of Wall Street's largest banks. They're trying to tell us everything is fine. Stocks are fairly valued. Ignore the yield curve. Don't worry about what's going on in other parts of the world. No. None of this matters at all. Oh, and also all the other geopolitical risks that's going on. Oh, ignore that too. It doesn't matter. Middle class is getting set up big time, and I know you get it. All right, look. Today's Christmas Eve. It's a short trading day, and this is going to be the only video that I do today. Tomorrow, the market is closed. I'm having a nice day off to relax and then just enjoy life. So, I'm not going to say this will be my last video, although I just said that, but unless something dramatic happens, this will in fact be my last video until Tuesday when the market opens, but who knows? I'll tell you, things are happening so fast right now, just like we all knew it would. Interesting stuff. Anyway, look, all of you, if I don't see you,
Wednesday,
have a great Christmas, a great holiday. I love all of you from the heart, and I mean that so completely. It's the truth. Love each other, care about each other, be charitable, and I'll see you, well, either Wednesday morning or sooner.
Yeah, so he's always adding insight. A lot of times he is right. It's one of the people that I follow, Gregory Mannarino. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to close the VIX trade because the SPY is pushing. I'm going to sign off for the day. position. We're long the VIX. It just came back against us. MRIN. We'll see if it can get another push here. If not, we're gonna cut it at this 1140. If it flags and holds, we'll leave it. If it drops, we'll call it quits for the day. So now, I always wonder, is this a significant pivot point around 1160? So mark it off. Take a look at the daily. $11.40. Max one day. Okay, so this is a significant level based on this gap here. See this 1161? This is where it's topped out before, and it's also a potential gap close reversal. So as you see, it's come back up here and it's gotten rejected. It came back up here, got rejected. Came back up here to 1150-ish, got rejected. It actually got to 1174, which is exactly to the penny the closing price of this day. So the fact that it came back up here and it tested this level and it's getting rejected, it doesn't show weakness. There's still this gap here to fill. So you can set an alert for 1174. Create an alert at or above. And then we know we have a level. From 1174, you're clear sailing to 13. And then there's a gap to fill up towards 1350. So as it comes up towards 13, we're going to want to see it. We're going to... I wonder if I create an alert with the drawing. Let's see. Create an alert with the drawing. If it is above there, create. So now if I clear my drawings, because I do that often, yeah, I'm going to lose the alert. So we're not going to do that anymore. 1472. It got all the way up to 1472. What stock are you talking about? Talking about MRIN. 13. Talking about like getting it up here. High volume candle on here. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to set an alert. We have one here if it, in case it does decide to break out. And then our next target's going to be just beneath 13. We'll set one here. And then we'll leave this level on here for 1350 and about 1320, and you're saying give it up towards here. But yeah, we'll take a look at that if it gets up that high. 1450. Still a far way away from there. Still no real sign of weakness. You know, I wouldn't want to short this. I'm okay holding it long, but looking to get out of here. So I kind of missed my take at 1140. I wanted to see that hold up, but at the same time, it's above the EMA, it's above the VWAP, and it's above other levels of support that it created intraday. It's also above daily resistance. We had previous day resistance around 1040. So there's a lot of support underneath it. You have intraday levels, you have the EMA, you have the VWAP, and then you have this daily resistance. And it doesn't have any sharp pullbacks yet, so it's not really showing anything tremendously bearish. We're still getting decent volume on the buy candles, but as you see, it's decreasing. You see these blue lines back here, decreasing volume, whichever direction you want it to go, which is bullish right now, is bad. One good thing that we see is smaller volume on the pullbacks, smaller volume on the red candles. So that's people taking profits. It might be people adding into a short position. I don't think you'd want to be adding into a short position over 1050 right now, unless you're just playing these pullbacks. Just because there's not really a well-defined resistance overhead up until 13, which is that gap level. So this has room towards 13. Oh, we have an alert here at 1173. Why? Okay, so this gap level is 1173, and that's why it's on the chart. So over 1173, over 12 is a good area. It's going to play a significant role in this stock. And what we like to see, if we're bullish, we like to see it grinding higher. You know, we like to see it holding a trend line, because this is just going to consolidate sideways and hopefully get pushed up. Same thing with this EMA here. It's really hard to see. I keep it light. Let me change the color for that. Let me make it white for now. It's very subtle on my chart because I don't use it very often, but as you see, it's creeping up. And as these two come in together, it'll push it up. Over 1173 is a level, so I'm curious to see if we're going to see any sellers on the tape at 1173 trying to hold it down. I don't think they're going to stop it, but we haven't seen much buying volume come in either. So if we're not going to get any volume candles, so there's our alert for the breakout. So this thing has a lot of room. I think this thing has room up to 13. So we're over this hump and we're over this daily resistance. So looking at this candle, it has room to 13. So the 5-minute, we're seeing some volume coming in, nothing too crazy. Maybe they're waiting for $12 because getting in underneath a whole dollar right here is weak, I guess you could call it. It's more you're anticipating. Even though this is a critical level, $12 still holds resistance. It still holds significance. So that one didn't get any resolution. 1036. AG. Break out at 571. Target. So you're saying if it gets over here, do like a repeat of earlier. So there's really no volume being traded on this. So I wouldn't personally like it. It says it's traded 1 million shares. 568. Hang on 1 second, guys. Oh yeah, sure, you're welcome. I like looking at other trade ideas and whatnot. But for this one, you have 571, target is 625. Let's take a look at it on the daily. AG. So you'd be running into the 200-day moving average. Is definitely something that you'd want to be careful of. So target of 625. You see it had a gap down, and then the gap level was about 644. So you see it came up and it touched that. It also correlated well with the 200-day moving average. So it definitely is respecting this 200-day moving average. So it looks like at most I would have a target around 6 if you were to take it long, based on this. Now if it broke over 6 and it held, and then there's only a little bit of risk in between 6 and the 200, then you can, you know, add back on and go with your original plan towards 625. But you know, over 6 you might, yeah, 625, and then reevaluate it towards 650 in this gap close area that it's been respecting. But that's going to be it for me. I'm going to shut it down. I have some things to do. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas if you're celebrating it. If not, Happy Holidays, and see you back here on Wednesday. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'll leave the stream up for a couple minutes.